Welcome, everybody, to Juice Pro Wrestling, episode 56, Mayhem! Oh, had to squeeze that one out. Sreten the Savage is in the studio today. How you doing, Sreten?
Feeling very savage.
Yeah, savage indeed. Butchman Lee's back in the house. What's up, Butch?
How's it going?
Oh, it's going nice and good. And our very special guest of the evening, drum roll, please. Steve Tortorello!
Woo!
Of Warrior Wrestling fame. How you doing, Steve?
I'm killing it. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Just came off a wonderful weekend of seeing the Misfits and Fear. I had a great time there. A lot of friends. I actually, I was telling you off air, I came across Matt Cross, and he kind of shooed me away because I was a fanboy. I'm like, I know you. I know who you are. And he's like, that's great. Like, I'm like, come over here. He's like, no, I'm good. But I did get to meet London May, who was a drummer who played with Sam Hain and Tiger Army and a bunch of other bands that I love. So that was super
Tiger
awesome.
Army.
Yeah. Power Moonlight album. He plays drums on it. So that's pretty cool.
It shines down on me. To my
Right?
soul.
But we're here today to talk about Warrior Wrestling 5, which takes place on Mother's Day, May 12th, 2019. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Steve's super pumped for
It's
it. You could
confirmed.
tell. Yeah. Through the trials and tribulations, through hell or high water, this show is going to take place on Mother's Day. Real quick, a question about that. Did you have any kind of, like going into booking this event on Mother's Day, did your balls just get super huge or?
So the reality of wrestling and schedules, and especially running a wrestling show based at a school, is that when you look at the month of May and you're like, great, when is the gym available and when are our champions available, you're narrowed down from 30 days to about 2. And essentially it was like, well, we run on Mother's Day, or we run without half of our regular roster, or we don't run in May. So we said, you know what? We're going to run Mother's Day. We're going to run a matinee, so you can take mom out to brunch. You can take mom out to dinner. But in the middle, you're taking mom out to a wrestling show.
That's right.
Damn right.
If I had a mom, I would totally do that. I thank you for elaborating on that, because I'm sure that's a question a lot of people might be asking, like, why are they running on Mother's Day?
It's a question my boss asked at the school. And
Yeah.
And the reality is just that. I mean, we could have run it. The gym is booked up for Honors Night and Baccalaureate Mass and a variety of other things. We could have run it on Friday, May 10, but without Brian Cage, without Tessa Blanchard, without Jordan Grace, without Brian Pillman, without whoever. And so it's like, well, do we want to do a totally different show without our gang? And we said, no, we're doing it with the gang. So we're doing it on Mother's Day.
Yeah, I like it, and I love the early time slot. Yeah. I just attended a few shows that Black Label, what was it, the Players Brawl?
Yeah.
And, dude, the time it started at like 3 or 4, and it was done by 7.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And you have the whole night ahead of you. And me and Elisa, we went out and partied and had a great time in South Bend, dude, and I like the early start time. It's Mother's Day. I mean, hey, get it out the way, do what you got to do, show mama some love, come see some badass wrestling. And after that, party like it's not Mother's Day.
Well, the other thing, too, is so our audience is a percentage kids and families. Mm-hmm. And every show we've done, the first 4, somebody has said, my kids absolutely loved it, but we left at 9 o'clock.
Right. Because it usually runs to like 11 or something.
Yeah, we run from like 7:30 to 11.
And I get that, yeah.
So, yeah, if we're going to have a bunch of kids out there, like, do it at 2 in the afternoon. You can bring your kids for the whole show.
Right. Yeah, they're going to have a good time the whole time. So I'd like to run down the match card with you, as we always do, because you always book some killer matches, man. First of all, do you guys have a running order for what's going first, or do you just kind of want to go over what's happening in general?
So we always have an idea for what is going to go first and how it's going to flow, and that always changes. Mm-hmm. So as you guys know from news in the last couple of weeks, our card is shaken up a little bit. We lost some guys off the roster, and now we're question marks around Brian Cage. So as we record this last night, Brian Cage got hurt at the Impact Rebellion pay-per-view. So that's all going to impact... No pun intended.
He did that on purpose.
No, I didn't, but I'm glad I did it. Hi-oh. that'll all impact the show. So I don't have a run order at the top of my head. It's all kind of in the air right now.
Okay.
So let's just jump around,
Yeah,
man.
let's go around, jump around. The first one I'm really excited about because it's a cage match.
Yes.
Eddie Edwards versus Austin Aries, and these guys have been going at it back and forth. You name it. You know, they wanted to have a street fight, then they wanted to have a wrestling match, and that didn't settle shit apparently.
No, it did not.
So we're gonna settle it. Where else could you settle this? You know, besides a steel cage.
Inside of a steel cage.
That's right. I love that. Where's the movie guy? Went inside of a steel cage.
2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Half broken, and maybe Jeremy Telema too.
Yeah, we're gonna put Jeremy in the cage just because of that.
Just so you get beat up. He's gonna be listening to this episode, so I gotta take a couple jabs.
Hi, Jeremy.
Super excited for this match,
Oh, my
man.
God.
I know when we were talking at MLW, you guys were kind of throwing around the idea of maybe doing a cage match first, which I am a huge supporter of doing that. I think that's like
It eliminates setup time.
It does. I mean, there are obvious, reasons, economic reasons, time reasons, and all that to do it. But I also think that it's something that hasn't really been done. When have you seen a cage match first at a wrestling show?
We've had that discussion, and that's definitely still in the running. In fact, I've had that discussion not only internally with the Warrior guys. I've had a 20-minute conversation with Austin Aries about it earlier this week or last week, where it was like, well, do we... It's really got two places to go. Either right after intermission, because they build the cage during intermission, you come back to it, or at the start of the show. And we all kicked around the idea of the audience walks in and the cage is already set up. And you just go, damn, like that sets the tone.
It's got that big fight feel to it, man.
They are not screwing around. Like they're going to start with the cage. So that might be the way we kick things off. Again, it's not finalized yet, but it's in the running.
Nice. I like it a lot.
Well, plus you were at the MLW taping with Loki and Tom Lawler.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It just took way too long between setup and takedown.
Yes.
So that
and they didn't have anything going on, So, well, you guys will once again have the VIP going on. That starts at what, noon, I believe?
Yep, noon to 2.
Okay. Oh, it's a couple hours. Has it always been a couple hours?
So it's usually 5:30 to 7:15, 7:30.
Okay. I don't know. Time flies because when you're having fun,
Exactly.
Yeah, that always everybody piles in early, and then all of a sudden you blink and it's showtime. I mean, that works really well.
Another huge match, and this is what's cool. It's on Mother's Day. Women's wrestling is super huge right now, and you guys are actually debuting a new championship. Can you tell us about that match?
Absolutely. So as we were talking before off air, this has been building since Warrior 2 in September. Jordan Grace and Tessa Blanchard are two of the most badass, hard-hitting women on the planet.
Badasses!
Amen. And they had a match at Warrior 2, ended when Tessa decked the referee and they brawled to the back and the crowd chanted, let them fight. Warrior 3, we kept them separate. And after beating Britt Baker, Tessa Blanchard was beating the snot out of her. Jordan Grace came out to make a save. They got into it. I came out totally unplanned, honest to God, true shoot unplanned. I came out and was like, knock it off. And then Tessa decked her with a belt and cleaned her feet on Jordan's belt and shoved me, and a whole bunch of stuff ran down. So then Tessa was not on show 4, but she challenged Jordan for the spot for the title match on show 5. So for us, this has been building the entire school year, and we look at our shows almost as a TV season. You start in September, you build to the season finale in May, and so this is the season finale of that feud, and it's going to be for the title. And we're bringing in Molly Holly as guest ref because clearly Tessa's going to beat the crap out of whatever guy ref we have. We can't put Jeremy in there. So Molly Holly is going to hold things down.
Well, I don't know. You might be able to substitute.
The dilemma.
I like that.
Oh, Jeremy. No respect. I'm just kidding. I love you. Yeah, and it's also cool because you guys are, like I said, it's going to be debuting a new title for you guys, the Women's Championship.
Yeah.
So how pumped are you about that and having that new belt?
I got the new belt maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Oh, so you have it?
I have it in my office at the
You're probably
school.
like wearing it and stuff. Like, that's so cool.
Sometimes. It's in my closet. It's underneath a box of like old files in my principal's office.
Nobody will find it here.
I know, right? No one will care here.
Where's me gold?
Wait a second. So it's basically the exact same as the men's belt, except instead of gold and black, it's silver and black, and it looks like $1 million. We considered doing black shiny metal on a gold strap, but to actually do shiny black metal, you need actual like onyx, and we were not paying for that. So it's polished chrome that looks like silver.
I heard they do shiny black metal in Norway.
Ooh.
That's a little inside joke from earlier. Who does I may have asked you this before. Who does your guys' belts?
So the men's one was Wildcat belts, which was awesome. Those guys are they do them for Impact and ROH, etc. The women's belt, Robert Ego Anthony made it.
Really?
Deep cut, true story. His father,
my mind is blown right now.
Right? His father works in or owns or something a metalworking shop, and Ego asked me once. He's like, "Hey, I know you're debuting a women's belt. Would you give me a shot to make it for you?" I said, "Absolutely." And he showed me a design and everything, and he came through, and it was awesome. Yeah,
That's bad.
yeah. So I think I've just revealed his secret talent, but Ego did a hell of a job, and I know he's looking to maybe do that bigger and more, mainstream for more companies in the future. So
Nice.
Are you familiar with AJ's belts?
I think I've heard that.
He's
Yeah,
a licensed WWE.
Yeah.
Well, it's my mom's neighbor.
Really?
Yeah, like by chance one day I was going to order a belt from him, and where does he ship out
Well, he
of?
makes WWE replicas?
No, like he's a licensed distributor for WWE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, when they need a belt made,
Yeah. And
hey, we need a spinner belt.
it just happened to be like my mom's neighbor, and I emailed him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know you."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So there's like 5 or 6 belt makers in the country, and all of them have made belts for WWE,
Dave
Impact, Ring
Milliken.
of Honor, New Japan, and it's not like, oh, well, the big companies go to some special, like, nope, the same dudes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know. What is it? Fandu is a big one that makes belts.
Well, too, the latest incarnation of the WWE title, the World Heavyweight title or WWE title, whatever you want to call it right now, that was done by who's the Chop Shop guys, the mustache dudes, the biker
Orange
dudes.
County Shoppers.
Orange County
Really?
Choppers.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So, for all you, get to the chopper! It's the only way out!
Pretty good.
Are there any other championships that you'd like to introduce in the future?
We have no plans for anything. People have asked about tag belts. Ultimately, sure, if we have the opportunity to do so, but right now we're only on show 5, and the thought was we introduced the men's belt at the start of this year, women's belt now, keep the 2 of those going forward and kind of see where we go.
I was thinking that the scramble match has pretty much become a staple of your promotion, like a scrambles champion.
That's a good idea. We hadn't thought of that.
Nice. I like
We'd
that.
kicked around the idea of a Chicago championship, and it would only be amongst local guys, and they do it in scramble matches or
like
rumble
a Gringo
matches.
Loco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're up for ideas. One of the things that my buddy Eric and I, who's my right-hand man, we always kind of run into this issue where we have 34 ideas, and it's like, well, we have one show in the next 3 months.
Yeah.
And so if we were monthly...
Sounds familiar.
I know, right? If we were monthly, absolutely. But yeah, a scramble title, a Chicago title, tag titles, if we could just do this all day, every day, we would.
Yeah. We'd love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love it. When you were talking about Robert Anthony, I thought that was this is going to be a good transition here because he's also wrestling on the card.
He is.
Against one of our faves, Brian Pillman Jr., with Frank the
Clown. That
Now,
Gucci boy.
Yeah. Steve, now let the people out there listening know what the stipulations are for this match.
It is a hair versus clown match.
Not just any hair, though. A
Mullet.
mullet.
The Mullet Club.
The mullet of all mullets.
I was going to say, it's a mullet with there's lineage in
There
that
is
mullet.
lineage. I love that.
He was born with that mullet.
He was.
Y'all like wrestling?
Wrestling. Somebody say wrestling.
So if Ego wins, Ego and Frank will cut Brian Pillman's mullet off. Oh, man.
Don't touch that mullet.
And they took a chunk of it at the last show.
Yeah, I know.
They handcuffed him and taped his wrist and then
Yeah.
showed him a chunk of his
Yeah, I was
mullet.
about to jump in that
pissed.
ring.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I thought that place was going to go up for grabs.
Right. You don't fuck with that mullet.
Yeah.
Now, let me
That's
ask
my
you this.
boy.
If Pillman wins, does he just take off Frank's wig?
Well, that could be part of it because he gets 5 minutes with Frank alone in the ring.
5 minutes low.
5 minutes. It's like 7 minutes in heaven, but 5 minutes
I was
in
going to say,
hell.
are the lights staying on?
Oh, they are. So you
Nice.
can all see what happens. And a quick story on this. So Frank is, of course, Frank, right?
Yes.
I get more hate online for the fact that we booked Frank the Clown, and it warms my heart.
I love him.
So much.
Yeah,
I love the guy.
Because every piece of hate tweet or hate Instagram, whatever I get, I'm just like, Frank is doing his job.
Yeah.
He's the perfect heel.
Oh, he's so good. I walked into the Marian Catholic High School faculty lunchroom after Warrior Wrestling 4. And one of our big fans, a religion teacher at Marian, who comes to all of the wrestling shows and grew up an old school wrestling fan, AWA in Minnesota.
Nice.
I walked in like the Monday or Tuesday after Warrior Wrestling 4, and he's sitting next to the president of our school and a nun, a Dominican sister. They're sitting there eating lunch, and I walk in, and this guy, Tim, goes, Steve, I just got to say it. I want to see somebody kick the shit out of Frank the Clown. And the sister loses it and the president loses it. And I go, really? Timmy goes, oh, God, that guy's just such a weasel. He's a weasel. And
He's old school. He's probably hoping for that weasel suit. To
yes,
come out, dude.
he mentioned the weasel suit.
Oh, man, did he?
And in that moment, I already knew it, but in that moment, I just went, thank you, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
Frank, you are everything I want. You are like Santa Claus on Christmas.
Yeah.
And
or on crack.
he's been on every show, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a freelance staple, too, right?
He is. He and Ego are together in freelance.
Yeah, he was there a couple weeks ago, I believe.
He returned.
Yeah. I did want to ask you, how did Warrior Wrestling come about? I mean, you know, I know you guys do it for the scholarships,
Sure.
but was it like, oh, we could do a bake sale, we could do, hey, let's do
RVD bake sale.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Let's do pro wrestling.
Man. So I was
No! Sorry.
not for the kids.
Pica de niños.
No. I was going to do an independent wrestling federation one way or another. I had kind of knocked on the door of a lot of local indie feds, so to speak, literally and figuratively, about working with some places. Basically got, there is no room in the inn, there is no room in the inn, there is no room in the inn. And so at one point I was like, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to make a thing. I'm going to launch it. So I actually took it around to a couple different towns about partnering with towns and hosting it in like American Legions or civic centers or whatever as like a business venture, joint with the town or the city, and got a little bit of nibbles here and there. And my buddy Eric, my right-hand man, we were at a Notre Dame football game in fall of 2017, and Eric goes, you don't care about making a dime off of this, do you? I was like, no, I just want to do it. And he goes, do it at the school. Give all the money to the kids. You have the resources, you have the venue, you have everything. And I went, I don't know. I kind of want to keep it separate from school. He's like, no. Do it at school. So I pitched to my boss, and I said, hey, can I have a half an hour of your time? I'm going to pitch you a really weird fundraising idea. And I put together a 22-slide PowerPoint. And I got to like slide 4, and my boss was like, done. We're doing it. Go nuts. And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 5 shows later, here we are.
Well, shout out to Marian Catholic for even endorsing the idea,
Now, would you be open to doing the shows outside of the high school?
Potentially, yes. Although we lose a lot of things. We lose the venue, the security, the insurance, the concessions, like all of these upfront costs. If it was a private business, we just absorb into the school.
Right.
So it would be more of a gamble, but yeah, we'd be open to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And now, I'm going to ask you a question.
Oh, man, a question.
Yeah, just one question real quick. How much money have you guys raised for scholarships so far?
We're still waiting on the final receipts from. So Warrior 4 made, like after costs, made like 10 grand. Warrior 3 made like 10 grand.
Yes.
Warrior 1 made like 4 or 5 grand. Or no, Warrior 2 made 10 grand. Warrior 1 made 4 or 5. Warrior 3 was basically break even. Warrior 3 we didn't make a lot on. That was the January one. And the reason for that we found out afterwards is travel in the holidays is like twice as much as it is around any other time. And we also had 6 international people on Warrior 3, which just the travel was astronomical.
Yeah, because you had
Ultimo Dragon, Super Crazy.
Yeah.
Pentagon, Phoenix, A-Kid, Carlos Romo, somebody I'm missing, Dragon Lee. We had all these people from Mexico and Spain and whatever. So 3 we didn't plan out very well in that regard, but the rest of them are averaging, so 1 was like the pilot proof of concept, but 2 and 4 were like 10 grand a pop. 5 is on track to be like 10 grand. So
even your
Yeah.
first one though, you
yeah, we
grossed
made like
about
4
5
grand. Yeah, 4,500 I think.
Well, that's good.
So-
It's good when you can
Yeah.
do something like that for children.
Yeah. I mean, because we're running with
God forbid
astronomical
anybody
costs.
try to take that away.
Yeah, why would anybody?
Yeah,
be
why would
against
anyone?
children?
Jeez.
Why would anybody want to be a dick? But I'm really that.
the children.
Yeah, seriously. As a father myself, dude, and just I'm very supportive of kids. They are our future. As cheesy as that sounds, I mean it is true. Give them good foundation and a swift boot up the behind when they need it. And things will turn out all right. Moving on to the next match.
Yep.
Sam Adonis versus Pat Monix, who's a local boy.
Yes.
Where's Sam Adonis from?
He's from Pittsburgh originally.
Pittsburgh? Okay.
Yeah.
That's JR's neck of the woods.
Ooh.
Right.
That's why he drinks
And
all
Kurt
that
Angle's.
Rolling Rock. Yeah. He said Kurt Angle's neck.
Oh.
Well, he didn't say it, but you know what I mean.
Broken freaking neck.
Right? He done. He gone. What can you tell us about this match, Steve?
Same thing like Tessa and Jordan, been brewing since September. So in September, Monix had a match with his mentor DJ Z. Sam Adonis came out next for a promo. Monix was still in the ring, so Sam just beat the snot out of him, tossed him out of the ring, and cut his promo. Later in the night, Monix showed back up again, got in a fight with Adonis. Then at Warrior 3, they had a 3-on-3 luchas match that Adonis won. At Warrior 4, Monix wasn't on the card. Adonis was going one-on-one with LA Park. And then all of a sudden, Pat Monix showed back up. New video, new outfit, new everything. Sam got distracted. LA Park powerbombed him through a set of chairs and finished him off. So now we get the grudge
Jeremy's
match.
ass.
Oh, God, Jeremy.
I love you, Jeremy.
So this has been building since Warrior 2, and Sam has only fought legends, really, or big names. He was in the NWA title match. He fought against Colt Cabana.
Wait, Sam Adonis was?
In our first Warrior 1, NWA title, Adonis and Nick Aldis.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Where the hell have I been?
I know.
You had the NWA championship?
It was defended at Warrior 1. Yeah, I know. God. Late to the party.
Yeah, I was late, but hey, man, I'm with you for the long haul.
But now you're in the party.
Yeah.
Is there any way, if you missed the first one, that you could watch it?
Yeah.
WarriorWrestling.net or the Highspots Network.
What about all the other ones?
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Also WarriorWrestling.net or also
You got it.
the Highspots Network.
Thank you. He knew what I was trying to do there. Well, you guys also have DVDs and Blu-rays, right?
Yes, we do, for sale at Warrior Wrestling 5 on May 12th.
That's right. I got to get the first 2. I own 3. You didn't have 4 for sale while it was happening.
We tried, but
that
the
would be
technology
weird.
wasn't there yet.
You need
Although
a
I once
freaking
saw
Whackers.
Kiss. Kiss used to record their concerts while you were watching it, and then you could buy it on the way out.
What?
Yes. When they played Tweeter in like 2003 or 4, they did that.
Whoa.
Yeah, they'd burn them on the CDs in a truck after the show.
That's blowing my mind
about
right
right.
now.
Yeah.
You know
Kiss?
what though? For
That's
Kiss
about-
and
that's
Gene
about
Simmons and the merch megastars that they are.
Yeah.
It's like a Polaroid or something. You know?
Yes.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Here's a match that might get Sreten a little excited considering he's wearing the Banana Club T-shirt.
Uh-oh.
The Space Pirates versus this match really struck an interest with me because I've never heard of these guys, but they are super awesome. Just by I haven't seen any of their matches or anything yet. I didn't want to get too far into them because I want it to be like totally fresh when I see them at Warrior 5.
Yeah.
The Ugly Ducklings.
Oh, my God.
What's their backstory? What can you tell us about the Ugly Ducklings?
I saw them at Freelance. Shout out to Matt Nix. They're against the Workhorsemen, so Anthony Henry and Big Drake. And very similar the first time I saw Space Monkey. First time I saw Space Monkey, 2016 in Chikara. And I had heard about Space Monkey, and I was like, oh, my God, Space Monkey? Are you kidding me? And then he comes out, and I'm like, oh, my God, Space Monkey. 2 minutes in, I was like, never mind. Take it back. He's amazing. Same deal with the Ugly Ducklings. I'm like, the Ugly Ducklings, really? They're like duck hunter dudes or whatever. 2 minutes into the match, I was like, never mind, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Take it back, universe. And so those guys are incredible. Space Pirates are incredible. And the crowd loves the Space Pirates at our shows. They
do.
love these guys. So this match has a chance to steal the show.
I think it does.
Legitimately does.
Well, not only are the average fans of the Space Pirates, but children are as well.
Oh,
My
God,
son
kids love Space Monkey.
Yeah. Even though he's got a banana flask filled with God knows what. I think
I've bought the most
99
merch
bananas,
from the Space Pirates than I have of anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between BLP and Warrior. Yeah. It's,
Well, and shoot fact on the Space Pirates, they are both wonderful Canadian men/monkeys, and nicest guys in the world. Just sitting in the back having some Canadian beers and just
Molson's?
I don't know if they brought their own Molsons. I'd have to check,
Nice.
but they're drinking everything that we brought, and just great dudes.
Yeah. Space
And-
Monkey's really interactive with us on
Yeah.
Twitter and stuff.
I love how Space Monkey always stays in character.
Oh gosh, to the bitter end.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Like, he'll be like, thanks.
it's like Space
was
Monkey.
he just here?
Like, it's a Tuesday and you're at work. You don't have to do this. He's like, ooh, ooh, hi.
Damn it,
Seriously.
Space Monkey, take out that garbage. Yeah, that match. And the Ugly Ducklings, they are some ugly mofos,
Yes.
dude. Look,
But I love the masks.
Yeah, I
Oh,
do too.
God.
Like,
Like,
it's even got teeth in the one
He's
mask.
kind of, and his mouth looks like the bottom of this one dude's mouth. He's got like the Mighty Ducks looking almost.
Yeah, yeah.
mask. I mean, he looks like a damn hairy, ugly duck.
But who's their manager? Who is this guy?
It's Coach Mike.
Coach Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
Get out of here.
How did I not know
The
From that
Coach Mike.
Nickelodeon show?
I just what?
Nothing.
All I said was, "Oh, Coach Mike." I don't know any Coach Mikes.
I don't know. There was that one Coach Mike. He had a show on Nickelodeon, and then he did comedy on like NBC or something.
That's cool.
You're the only one that watched.
Mike O'Malley from Guts.
Yeah.
You guys don't remember that?
No.
Oh, yeah,
All
I
right,
totally
fuck you
remember
guys.
that.
Moving along.
Screw you guys.
Next. All right, the next match we got coming up for you at Warrior Wrestling 5. Actually, I want to talk about this one. It's the main event. I guess it will be the main event, right?
Which one are we
It's
talking
kinda in
about?
question.
There's a couple.
Well, yeah, I know that all of them pretty much. Brian Cage versus Wardlow.
Yes. We talked off air, and presuming Cage is able to go, this is a battle of the beasts, man. We talked off
The machine versus the mountain.
Yes. Wardlow is what would happen if you put a program into a 3D printer to build a professional wrestler. If you're just like, build me a wrestler,
Yeah.
out would walk Wardlow, and you're like, oh shit, they did it.
No
He's an
argument
attractive
with that.
man too.
Oh, he's a beautiful. He showed up to Warrior 4 in a suit.
I know, right?
Everyone's
He's
like,
all
"Oh."
GQ.
See, I'm looking at the backstage stuff right now with Val Capone. Shout out to Val. What's
Yeah.
up, girl? Yeah, and he's just looking like a swashbuckling, like handsome dude that could like break me like Bane.
He can't be that swole and that good looking. You got to choose.
But he
I think
he
he's
chose
both. yeah.
And who's telling him
Deadly,
otherwise?
deadly combination, man.
Yeah. And the guy can go, too. I mean, he can move. He's got power. And the first time we saw him at Warrior 3, everybody backstage went, he needs to face Cage. And we're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, we'll get him. And we figured like we needed one more step first. And so Cage had the Rascals and he had Moose last show. But then we thought it's time. Here's a guy who is like Cage, a big dude who can move, who can wrestle, who can fly. And the two, as long as Cage's back holds up, which we're fingers crossed, that match is going to kill. It's going to be awesome.
Well, that Cage versus Rascals match, that was
Oh, my God.
wow.
That was
Oh.
intense.
Yep.
Although I was kind of disappointed because he had preluded to doing a triple vanilla gorilla flip.
Yes.
Can you say that one more time, please?
Triple vanilla gorilla flip.
Oh my God! I can't comprehend what you just said.
Yeah, I was hoping for the triple vanilla gorilla flip, but no such luck.
Oh, my
Although
brain
he did
hurts.
throw those guys around like ragdoll.
Oh
yeah.
I mean, he's a machine.
God, he's
Yeah.
just
He's not a man. Everybody knew that. Yeah. And Wardlow too, man. He's a stud. He's a
Yeah.
beefcake. He's a dreamboat. He's
yeah.
everything you want.
I mean, that
He's
guy
got me
is-
questioning.
I know, like I thought I knew what I was, but then I saw Wardlow.
Yeah, right. And then the rumor mill is swirling about AEW going out and getting some Hoss guys, and Wardlow is on their radar, from what I hear from JR's barbecue.
Ooh.
Yeah. By God, did somebody say JR? By God, Austin 360 in a chair, barbecue pinata. All right.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if I obviously Cody and the Bucks don't come to me for advice, but if they did,
Don't lie, Steve. You know they're coming.
well.
You're like Mother Brain and Metroid. They're coming to
they
you.
text me all the time.
You son of a bitch.
It's like, Cody, I need to go to bed. I'm signing off, dude.
Cody, quit keeping my boy up late. He got to run some school.
I got a school in the morning.
Yeah.
But if they did, I would tell them, sign the dude. Sign the dude yesterday. He is big and going to be bigger,
Yeah, and make him exclusive to everybody.
except Warrior Wrestling.
Yeah, don't do that.
Now we've seen you at MLW shows, so
Yeah. Steve's everywhere, man.
Try.
what do you think about War Beast, Joseph Samael and Fatu?
Well, I have had conversations with War Beast. We like them very much, and obviously they're not going to be there in May. They're not on the card, but hopefully in the future we'll bring them in. We think they're great.
Now, have they scrapped the whole Contra unit thing and just gone with War Beast now?
I think War
Really?
Beast is the tag team. Contra is the faction.
The faction,
with
yeah.
Simon Gotch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Simon Grimm
'Cause
or
I-
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grim. But, yeah, because that's what they've been
Copyright.
advertising lately as War Beast is Joseph Samael with the.
Yeah. And they're great. They're awesome. And I've traded many a message with them. Good dudes. We'd love to have them in.
Yeah, they can go.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing, too. You talked about other belts earlier. We've kicked around the idea of doing a tag team tournament maybe in the fall and getting like 8 teams in and do like a single elimination.
Start off the new
See,
season of
I think
Warrior.
that'd
Yeah.
be great. Like, to start like a whole show is a tag tournament.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, almost like the Crockett Cup that just happened. You like that? You like what I
Winners
just did?
Brody King and PCO.
Yeah. And have you seen the belts?
I have not seen the belts.
They
no.
are so
Yeah.
super old school, dude.
Yeah.
They're fucking awesome.
They got the Eagles like protruding out of them.
Yeah. If you get a chance, check them out later tonight when you get home, man. They're awesome. And the women's title that they
and I'm just fucking happy to see PCO get that belt.
yeah, he deserves everything.
I
man.
mean, it's taken him so long, you know,
Yeah.
and he's never given up.
God, he's
And
just
the crazy
indestructible.
shit he does, he is
Yes.
not human.
that's right. So it happens when you're a Quebecer, you know?
Right?
Crazy shit like getting your mouth stapled and your nipples electrocuted and stuff. Hey, this stuff all happens on Monday night. PCO. Hey, Labatt. I like Labatt too. What? Hey,
Denim.
Yeah. So a huge match. Now this is we're talking about tag team wrestling.
Yes.
I'm so glad that these guys are back because they love the juicy pro wrestling.
Best intro you ever had.
Yeah, right. All you putos out there,
madre.
listen.
Animos putos. There's Phoenix saying animos. Yeah. Putos.
Like, did he just say burrito? God damn it, the only Spanish you guys know is what you learned at Taco Bell. Pentagon and Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers, are coming back. We haven't seen that they've sat out one event, so to speak.
I do have to say, though, in this promo photo, Phoenix looks like DJ Z with
He
Phoenix's
does.
mask on.
What's up with that? You know, he probably like drew some You sure you didn't draw those tattoos on there, JR?
That's DJ Z.
Yeah.
Well, actually, to reveal it all, there is no Phoenix. Phoenix is DJC.
No.
It's like the fucking Matrix.
Ba, 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 ba.
I'm gonna fucking explode. Where's Daga and his tight pants? Oh man! So the Lucha Bros,
Yes.
versus Daga and Volador Jr.
Yes.
I was super pumped about this. And this, I mean, in many ways, is another Mexican wrestling legend.
Yes.
You want to talk to us about that?
I
Steve?
sure do. So, Lucha Bros, as you said, stole the show at Warrior 3 against
Yes.
Team White Wolf, A-Kid, and Carlos Romo. They actually had a family thing on Friday the 15th of March, so they could not do Warrior 4. It was the first show without Pentagon that we've done. And they're back for Warrior 5. They are just, I mean, everybody.
So they're
they
usually
speak for themselves.
exclusive to you guys.
Totally 100% they wrestle nowhere else.
Nice.
We told them they couldn't.
Sweet.
But so they're back, and we paired him up against 2 other incredible luchadors. Daga was on a couple of our shows. He's incredible. Daga is, and I was having this discussion with somebody recently, he's like the Mexican Davey Richards.
He
in
is.
That
I like that.
Stiff kicks, suplexes, punch to
build.
the jaw, just built like a little fire plug.
Well put together.
Yeah, he's well put
he's
together.
well put
I like
together.
his tight jeans, whatever.
Yeah.
That's where that whole thing started.
And the dude in the backstage, Warrior 3, Warrior 4, whatever his last one he was, you know, fancy shirts.
That's
tight
what I'm saying,
jeans,
and those
like fancy
shiny shoes.
Yes.
Oh, he gets all this.
You like the
goodies.
shirt? You like my shoes?
Yeah, I do. And these guys make fun of me because I thought the guy's well put
They're
together.
Oh, he
Sparkly.
is.
He's a
that-
fucking stud.
That man, he got dressed this morning.
Yeah,
the rest of us just rolled out of bed. He got dressed.
Yeah, so fresh and so clean.
Oh God! So he is awesome, badass Mexican Davey Richards, and Volador.
What if he changed his name up? Badass Mexican Davey Richards.
That's his new gimmick right there.
God, yeah. And so we've got Daga, who is just strong style badass. Volador Jr., son of Volador, or inherited Volador, a flyer. If you've never seen, if you're listening and you've never seen Volador, the dude can take to the air. Like, if you think Phoenix flies, wait till you see Volador. So Pentagon and Phoenix versus Daga and Volador, that match is going to own. That match is going to just melt your face. Like the Nazis in
now the
Raiders of
cart-
the Lost Ark.
Well, Daga, though, another guy, as we were talking off air, as we were praising Lucha Undergrounds, hey, if it wasn't for them, we might not have heard of Daga.
No, and that's what put him on the map. Yeah,
He was a AAA staple, right?
yeah, and still is, and he really is now starting to work his way into the States, and the dude can go.
Yeah.
So at Warrior 3, he had teamed up with Pat Monix and Ultimo Dragon against Adonis and Super Crazy and Dragon Lee. And there were some spots in that match with Daga and Dragon Lee where they tore it down. And that was where we said, we're using him again.
Yeah.
This guy's good.
Because, there's a few things that he is, and I think the best way you can describe it is real big, real hard, real staff. I had to squeeze that in there, But yeah, I'm super pumped for this match. Like I said, they love the juicy pro wrestling, so we're gonna pop hard for the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah.
And Volador Jr. and Daga. Like this is great, man. I don't see why anybody's not gonna have a good time at this event.
That's what we're trying for, man.
I think I might have to take a loan out and get one of Phoenix's masks, like the authentic one.
Every time they do one of our shows, I'm always like, would it be weird to put in like the deal that they each also give me a mask?
Not at all.
Do it.
like,
Not at
They're
all.
going to make that money over 10.
Let me ask you this: have you seen Jim Cornette's wrestling museum that he has?
I know he has one, but
It's
I've
his,
never seen
well,
it.
it's like his collection in his house.
Yeah,
and
it's
this
Just a bunch of
attic,
tennis
right?
rackets.
Yeah, no, I mean this dude going back to like the beginning of time in wrestling, and just everything from
All the
magazines
posters
to
and shit,
posters
yeah.
to probably ring gear and shit that we don't
Well,
even
part of
know
that Dark
of.
Side of the Ring documentary, they shoot some of it.
They
in
shoot
his
some
attic.
of it,
Oh,
and
yeah?
I've seen some on YouTube. But I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
It's your part in history and your contribution to the business. I would collect as much as you could.
Absolutely. Like, these guys who have an all White Sox basement, right? Or a Notre Dame basement where they
Yes.
collect everything
Yes.
they can. What's wrong with doing that with wrestling? Something that you love, you've been a part of, collect it. There's something about having the tangible thing. So, like, I collect tickets. I keep every ticket to every concert, every sporting
I've
event.
lost so many.
I have a little wall in my condo that's nothing but framed things of tickets.
Sweet.
And sometimes I'll sit there and look and go, oh, yeah, that's when I saw the Stones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
Did you see the Stones?
I saw the Stones, Indy Motor Speedway,
Nice.
4th of July, 2016.
Nice.
I got a confession.
Go on.
The warrior painting I did for you, that was basically my intention in doing it, is so that each wrestler that you have come in, you can have them sign it, and then that's something that
Done.
you can have.
Done. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you again for that, by the way.
The gift
problem.
that keeps on giving. Ooh. And that gives the givee regress.
Well, it's kind of like the door at Pro Wrestling Tees, how they have every wrestler that comes in
Yeah.
sign the door.
Yeah.
I
Right.
figured, have something.
Absolutely, man.
Speaking of pro wrestling tees, for some reason this just kind of sparked in my mind. Steve, did you see that video with CM Punk hiding under a mask coming back?
I sure did.
And we both saw him at C2E2, all three of us. Well,
Yeah.
all four of us actually. I don't know what Sreten
I didn't
was doing.
see him.
Yeah, Sreten.
He saw
You
you.
just sit there and be quiet.
He might have seen me. I did see him. I like.
Was he John Cena? He might have seen me. You might have seen me. Or maybe not. Anyways, CM Punk, do you think he's coming back? Because everybody's been talking about this for years and years and years. Is AEW going to pick him up?
From what I know of him, and I've studied him meticulously because
Right.
I'm a weird nerd, and also because I watched him, growing up in LWF. Like, he was in Tinley Park High School. Like, it's crazy. He's from Lockport. He's an incredibly stubborn person,
Right.
and he also is a very, very wise and thrifty person. He saved all his money.
Yes.
He did not
He
burn his
doesn't
money.
have to.
He does not need to do this. And if he doesn't need to do it, and he said, I'm done, I could see him saying, I don't need to do this, and I said, I'm done, I'm done. And I could see him being the only wrestler ever to truly walk away on his own terms, whether you agreed to it or not, or whether you liked it or not, and be done. I could also see him getting bored because he also goes from project to project and thing to thing.
Right.
And one day when he wakes up and says, I want to make a friggin' comeback, he will make a comeback like nobody would ever believe.
Yeah.
Well, see, I heard Vince is trying really hard to re-sign CM Punk, AJ Lee, and Dean Ambrose.
Because he doesn't
Those
want
are
to go
the
into
three.
AEW.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he
Well,
knows
I
that
mean,
those three would make
Yeah.
waves for AEW.
From what I understand with Ambrose, it's kind of more of
he's
a break.
coming. He's taking a hiatus.
Yeah, and they're just using this as a story because it gets people talking.
well, because they wouldn't have hyped. Vince has never hyped anybody leaving his company.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
look at it like that. I get that.
Like with as many as even in Moline, Illinois, they hyped. Oh, the final Shield thing. Like
They said that like
you had
3 or
already-
4
yeah,
times.
yeah,
I was
you
sick
know?
of seeing the Shield
They
after
just
the
kept
first time.
hyping it and hyping it and hyping it.
Not a big
and
Shield
Bobby
guy.
Lashley says to Dean Ambrose before he leaves, "Oh, I'll take care of your wife while you're gone."
After I put my contacts back in.
The green ones or whatever the hell they were. Yeah. What was
Steve, since we ain't talked to you in a while on the show, real quick,
Yeah.
since he threw out the Lashley thing, what'd you think of Mania?
So I normally have a Mania party with all my buddies I grew up with and friends and girlfriends and wives and
We
everybody.
were invited.
Well, I mean, I didn't grow up with you. I found you as an adult.
You found me as a lonely child.
Giant baby.
Who is this baby here? So I normally have a Mania party. This year we kicked it all around amongst our gang of people, and everyone was like, "Forget it." Like we did a Ring of Honor New Japan party the night before.
Oh, nice.
Because
For this G1
Mania, for the
Supercard?
G1 Supercard Madison Square Garden. Because Mania is too damn long.
Yes.
It went from 4 p.m. till 11:30 Central Time. It should be 2 nights or something different.
If you're gonna do it that long, do it on a Saturday.
Then do it on. It's like the Super Bowl. Why does it have to be a Sunday? Move it to a Saturday. Everybody can
gotta
stay out
work.
later.
Yeah.
People gotta work.
That's one thing I like about MMA. They got it right as far as bookings.
Saturday
And
night,
Saturday is a party
9 to
night,
midnight.
dude. And imagine
Well,
like
and NXT even has it right.
yeah. I do like that. Triple H knows how to book, dude. I'm sorry. There's
And
people
Vince
that
knows
shit
how
on
to
him.
squash.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Triple H
think-
creates stars, and Vince just squashes them.
Yeah. So this year during Mania, I did not have people over. I had it on in the background. I did schoolwork and I watched episodes of Game of Thrones on my laptop.
But this year, I think this year out of the last out of the last 10 WrestleManias was the best one.
I don't know.
It
Was
was, kinda-
fine. I thought it was fine.
It was okay.
Compared to the
Last
previous
year,
ones,
I totally
though,
wanted
mean,
to take a Duke on it, and
but-
this year I was like, maybe
this
just
year
a pee-pee.
at least wasn't as predictable as previous
Yeah.
cards.
So predictable.
where you always knew, all right, Brock's gonna win.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
the
it was a little
Kofi Daniel
different.
Bryan match was excellent.
Yeah,
and who was gonna predict Bret Hart getting attacked during the Hall of Fame speech?
Oh god.
that made the
Holy
moment.
shit.
You know,
We had a
Dawson
long
is a
argument at
star
my
now.
place. Was it a work? Was it a shoot? And then they had a work one at Ring of Honor like 10 minutes later. And we're like, what's going on?
Oh,
everyone's doing
Enzo
running.
and Cass.
so I'm glad you brought that up because
Yeah.
somehow, and usually shit will pull up as a sponsored whatever, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever.
Yeah.
Some fucking how I don't follow Enzo on anything, but his
Because
tweets,
you're wise.
his his tweets, his Instagrams, all that shit appears in my feeds. And it's pissing me off, dude. He had this one where he's like, "Hey, you guys a bunch of pussies," or trying to do his whole shtick, talking about the ROH guys, like like it wasn't a
Tama
word.
Tonga buried him.
Oh yeah, dude, Tama, dude. Much respect to Tama and the Bullet Club on that because, dude,
He's the belt stealer.
fuck that shit, dude. Fuck the Enzo and Cass train. Like two guys that have nothing now that now they're trying to make a name and just like almost like fans were doing when they were doing the CM Punk chants, like trying to take over a show. Like it's not fucking cool. No one wants to see you. And if you need any more proof of that, WWE fired your asses. They didn't want to see you.
Well,
They gave
they
you guys.
released Enzo because of some false allegations, though.
Well, yeah, and I get that, but whatever.
Although
At the end of the
Ellsworth-
day, did you like really, dude? He just did that little shuffle where he looked like fucking Ren from Ren and Stimpy. Like, I can't. I just don't like the guy, man. There's something that rubs me wrong about him. That's like, and he was straight talking shit to them boys, the Briscoes, and everybody involved at ROH, and he was shooting hard on them.
Yeah.
And I'm like the guy, I'm like, man, if any of those dudes that you just talk shit about, like, if really would have fought your ass and Big Cass ain't there,
yeah, because he's what, 5 feet?
yeah, I'm sorry, you were a 5-foot manager at Hooters,
Yeah.
And you might be a little bit cut and whatever, but dude, you're 5 foot nothing,
And you wear leopard print.
and you got a big mouth. I'm
you
sorry.
doing?
You got me wound up with that, with the Enzo shit, and I do not know how his stuff is appearing in all my shit without it. It
Because
doesn't
he
say that
pays
it's
for it.
sponsored, and I do not follow him. And I do and other than right now me talking about it, I don't respond to it, even though I just want to like shit all over it.
Twitter is punking you.
I think it is, man. It's punking me, and I don't like it.
The reverse algorithm.
Oh man.
It's the
What
reverse
does
Flash.
Juice hate? But you mentioned the Briscoes a minute ago. Those are two guys I've been watching Ring of Honor for a decade.
Yes.
And my buddies and I have a joke that the Briscoes were professional wrestlers for 5 years before anyone told them it was
Right.
They those dudes could rip your heart out through your throat.
Yeah.
I mean, they are
gonna have to
legit
bleep you for
chicken
that,
farmers.
yeah, for sure. We're gonna have to bleep you for that F-bomb you just dropped.
Oh,
Where do we go now? It's all good though. You still my boy, man. I love the Briscoes. I love the promos they cut in ROH. And do you remember them back in the old Impact Asylum days?
No, the Briscoes were on Impact?
Yeah, I don't know if you have. Well, everybody's got access to the Global Wrestling Network, which is now being rebranded as Impact Plus, starting May 1st. But go back and watch it. This was the Nashville Asylum days, and you wouldn't recognize them.
Okay.
Two skinny little dudes, like bald-headed, coming out and wrestling in TNA back in the day. I remember seeing that shit. And then to see what they've become now, and they are legit badass motherfuckers.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes. I saw a live event, Ring of Honor. This is like 2010, 2011. And Jay is bleeding profusely. I think they were fighting the world's greatest tag team or something. And he's just gushing blood. And he's in the middle of punching somebody. And he just keeps screaming, I ain't even bleeding. I ain't even bleeding. And the whole audience is like, yes, you are. He's like high on crystal meth. I ain't even bleeding.
Chicken. The chicken farmers.
Oh, God. I mean, those guys just they talk about living the gimmick. There was one promo they did, this is 7 or 8 years ago, when they started doing promos from the chicken farm, and they're sitting inside of a barn of some sort, and they're just throwing dead chickens in a pile while cutting a promo.
Yeah.
And not even blinking. And you're just like, oh, my God.
That's
this
how all
is
their
perfect.
promos in the middle of the field, like just random
They're
ass
super cool
shit.
though. I mean, that's super real, and that's
who they are.
Yeah, that's who they are. You
There
know?
was
Y'all
no
won't go
gimmick.
fight me and my brother? Come on.
Cowboy boy, you sure do got Purdy Mile. Wait, wrong situation here. It reminds me of like my buddy, our buddy John Horn, Johnny B. Shout out to him. He does the same shit.
It's like him and Frank Caparelli.
Yeah, he'll send me weird random pictures of like, because they raise chickens and stuff, for eggs and for meat and everything. Yeah, squeeze it. You're choking your chicken. Anyways, he'd send me like get a random picture like out of the blue one day, and it's like this chicken with its head cut off, and there's feathers everywhere and like a bloody axe. He's like making meat. Like, all right, dude. Like, I remember thinking back then, I was like, man, this would make for some cool wrestling shit. And then like you see it stuff kind of similar like that with the Briscoes, and it's like, dude, it hits home, man. I can relate, and it's super cool, dude. It's believable, man.
Yes.
I did have a question for you, Steve.
Hit me.
Since you're a promoter, booker / do-it-all in the world of independent professional wrestling, what do you think about what WWE just pulled with Harper? As far as he requested his release, they denied it, and then added 6 months to his contract.
I
They're-
heard that was
Because
coming.
he was injured.
Well, they did that to Daniel
Right.
Bryan.
Right.
They did it to Rey Mysterio. Their goal is to keep all of the chess pieces off the board.
Right.
So they don't want anybody having any of their chess pieces. They'd rather pay them to do nothing.
That's what they're pulling with Sasha Banks right now. Is they'd
Yeah,
rather
she
have her
wanted to
just
quit.
sit at
She
She
home,
And
wants
they
to
said
sit out.
We'll pay you. Sit at home and we'll pay you. And that's what
lose
they,
your star power.
Yep.
Yep.
And they look at this as it is more valuable to pay her to do nothing than to let her go and go to AEW.
Because I heard she had just signed a new 2-year contract too.
Yeah, she has years left on her deal, and she was like, "I'm done. I'm done." And they said, "Great, we'll pay you to do nothing."
Yeah,
Because they have billions of dollars at this point.
I heard
She's
she was
just
very
her-
upset that they dropped the titles.
Well, I
to the
heard she was
Iconics who are
upset
not
that
good.
they split her and Bailey up because
Well,
they
they-
fought so hard to get
That's
the tag
another
team
thing.
championships.
Well, and they thought they were going to get a run to make
Right.
those belts mean something. So
Yeah.
it was not, I'm not going to do it the job. It was, you didn't give us a chance to make this mean something, and so we dropped the belts to two non-wrestlers,
Dude,
and now you split us up.
You guys, mark my words. Those women's tag team titles are going to do the same thing that they did to the guys who did them first in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be around for a little bit. No one's going to give a shit.
Yep.
Because there's no legit female
Well, it has-
tag team.
And had they let Bailey and Sasha stay together for 6 months and be a thing,
Right.
whougep beat them
And
would
not
have been a
split
deal.
up groups who could be tag teams
Yeah,
like the
watch
Riot,
Riot
Squad,
Squad.
and all that.
now
you know?
it's just going to have the same relevancy as the hardcore title.
Yep.
Where it's just
it's
a
just
title.
there.
It's just there.
The WWE. They have too much talent, too many titles, and it's just it's WCW all over again. I'm
Yep.
sorry. That's exactly what it is.
Well, and the reality now, though, is that somebody put out a graphic. It was a homemade graphic earlier today or yesterday of AEW's roster.
Yeah.
And you look at it, it's like 60 dudes and a bunch
Yep.
of girls, and you're like, oh my God,
So
there's so
diverse.
much talent outside of WWE. So if I am MJF, why would I sign with WWE? To wait in line for 7 years and then get squashed?
Yeah.
Or I could sign with AEW. And the way that they operate is that the talent is exclusive around an AEW show, but they can still take dates outside of that. So
I'm really excited to see the whole format of how their
Yeah.
product runs.
How pumped is everybody at this table right now for Double or Nothing?
I'll be there, man.
Yeah. Damn it.
you, Steve.
Not if I take your tickets.
Oh, damn. No. Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be incredible wrestling, incredible dudes, and it's like All In. It's a celebration of, like, this is what indie wrestling can be. Like, I've loved indie wrestling for forever, and when I was at All In, it was like seeing your team win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You're there, you're like, oh my God, indie wrestling did it. Because I used to watch the Bucks. I don't know if I mentioned this in a podcast before. I lived in LA for 2 years. I went to PWG all the time. I watched the Bucks when no one had any idea who the Bucks were. It was just like, oh, they're this great local tag team in LA.
Well, and that's the thing, that Pro Wrestling Guerrilla has had so much great talent that people don't really mention them.
Yes.
You know, in the indie, like top indies.
Oh gosh, they were incredible. They were the like here. All right, so when I used to see the Bucks in PWG, and then the Bucks got big, I told people, you guys will appreciate this as music dudes, seeing the Bucks at the American Legion in Reseda would be like seeing the Ramones at CBGB in 1979.
Just
Like,
I
it
just
is
got
the
hard.
perfect-
Intimate,
yep,
like-
the perfect act in the perfect venue where they were made in small and intimate. It's unfrickin' believable.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the Ramones and I love the Young Bucks. So what can I say? I just,
Yeah.
woo.
And it's like if you watch the Ramones play, the Allstate Arena or whatever, and some people are like, oh, they sold out. Well, no. They got so big that many people wanted to see
They
them.
had to. Yeah.
And
yeah.
they didn't change.
And you can still do that. And
They're
they
not gonna
did. They
turn down
played
making
some
money.
big arena shows, and they
Yes.
still were the Ramones, dude.
Yes, it doesn't stop you from being who you are if more
Right.
people want to see you.
Yeah. Just because more people want to
I
see
don't-
you
yeah.
doesn't mean that you change your style of music. Now, if
Yes.
you're changing your style of music to be poppy or something,
That's
then you're a
different.
sellout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Metallica, Korn, all those bands. Yeah.
What was it? Saint Anger, or whatever that they put out.
what
they
a
like
That
officially sold out.
Disappointments.
Well, no, the official sellout was Load and Reload.
Yeah.
They cut their hair, but looking back now,
Friends
on it,
don't let their friends get haircuts.
yeah. Unplugged, Alice in Chains. Looking back on that, I kind of like, there are some songs that aren't so bad now, maybe because I'm older, and I was never a big Metallica guy.
Sure.
Although, I got their first 4 albums on my iPod on shuffle the other day. Leper Messiah comes on, and I'm like, damn, man, that heavy-ass rip, it just tears. It's fucking awesome, but I was never a big Metallica fanboy. But that was definitely their moment when Load and Reload came out, and it's like, oh, God, they got nail polish on now, the short hair, eyeliner, like, they have watery chorus effects in their riffs, like they're trying to be alternative,
Yeah.
That's selling out.
Yes.
Come on. And I've yet to see guys like the Bucks do anything like that. All I've seen is everything get bigger and better on that huge platform. Every platform that they step up, that's another giant leap forward. They don't deviate from the norm, from what is normal to them.
Yes.
It stays the same, and it just grows larger, and they like blow up, and it gets like funnier and more action packed and better. And I haven't seen that in wrestling in fucking forever, dude.
And it's so organic. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first PWG show I went to, it was the Bucks versus Kevin Steen and El Generico.
Nice.
And
Holy
Kenny
shit.
Omega faced Davey Richards and Roderick Strong. It was a tournament. And I had no idea who
cream
Kenny
So you
dream.
basically went to the best show
I-
ever.
Yes. it was the Battle of Los Angeles 2009, the second night.
Oh yeah, those were good shows.
And
Battle of LA.
I had never heard of Kenny Omega until he came out and he wrestled 2 matches that night, and I was like, whatever star power is, this guy is it. And I'd heard of the Young Bucks like a little bit in indie wrestling forums and stuff, and then I saw them at PWG and I was like, oh my God, like this is tag team wrestling. And the all-in main events, so Kenny versus Penta and the Bucks with Coda versus what was it, Bandito and Ray
Yep.
and whoever, I forget. Those 2 matches at All In were the exact same style of what I saw at PWG. They didn't change. They didn't change the music. More people just came to the music.
Yeah.
So cool to see.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I got a question for you, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
So, in your opinion, who's the best tag team in the universe?
Currently, the Young Bucks.
I agree.
Yep, the Young Bucks, Pentagon and Phoenix.
Sreten, what would be your take on that? Just as a kind of somewhat, you're
He's
in
going
the,
with Space
Space
Pirates.
Pirates.
Yeah. I
You
like
know what
that.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm gonna say.
Do I?
He's got the Banana Club shirt on.
I'm wearing a Banana Club shirt.
Smart Mark. What? I was trying.
Stone Cold E.T.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay, so here's the thing, real quick, because I gotta squeeze this out, and then we're gonna announce, where we can find everybody everywhere. Stone Cold E.T. We will be at the Warrior VIP again. I gotta get him to come on, and like he was playing some music and stuff. We could do a duet.
I mean, he could do an interview with.
Handsome Prick meets
Andre?
Stone Cold E.T. Imagine the possibilities.
I'm
Did
thinking.
someone say my name?
Oh my God, Andre the Giant! Oh my God, you know what, Andre? How would you
Oui.
feel about talking to this guy? Have you heard of Stone Cold E.T.?
I've heard a little bit about him.
Yeah. Good things or bad things?
Yeah, good and bad. I say he like his French pommes frites a particular way.
Yeah, well, that is correct. But Andre, who do you think would win in the battle between you and Stone
Me?
Cold?
Me
Yeah?
and who?
No,
Me.
You didn't let me finish a rap battle.
Oh, rap?
Yeah. Do you know what that is, Andre, or is it?
Some bullshit. No. Oh, yes, me.
Yeah, like the Fat Boys.
Yes, me.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I agree. I think this would be something we need to piece together rather soon, don't you?
Piece what together?
Stone Cold versus Andre the Giant.
Maybe a Reese's piece
Stone
together.
Cold E.T.
Okay, I do. I like Reese's piece.
Ah!
I gotta go.
What if we had a couple of fat cases of wine?
How many fat cases?
Like 6 or 7.
You double it, I'm
D8.
in. You double it, I'm in.
All right.
Gotta go.
All right, later, Andre. Holy shit. So the speculation is now the confirmation. Stone Cold E.T., the challenge is laid out. Andre the Giant wants you. Would
For a
you?
rap battle.
That's right. Stick 'em. Stick 'em. Stick 'em. All right, that's not. We're channeling our inner Fat Boys, all right? I like them, There's nothing wrong with them. I like Disorderlies. It's a good flick.
What about CB4?
Yeah. CB4, Cell Block 4, that's great too, MC Gusto.
Chris Rock.
Hey, yeah. Shout out to Charlie Murphy, though. Rest in peace.
Charlie Murphy.
I was watching some Paul Mooney stuff too. Outtakes the other day. It was great stuff. Hey, Steve, tell everybody where they can score tickets at, where they can find Warrior Wrestling at.
WarriorWrestling.net has tickets, rundown of all the matches, links to the videos of previous shows, links to merch, old articles, videos, you name it. Follow us on Twitter at Warrior Wrestling.
You
No
almost said
vowels.
Titter.
Oh,
I like
man.
that better.
Oh, jeez. That's
I
a
like
different
that
website. Warrior Wrestling, no vowels in the second word, so WRSTLNG. Same thing on Instagram. We're on Facebook, you name it. But WarriorWrestling.net is the place to go for tickets and everything you need.
Nice. And you can find Juice Pro Wrestling on any podcast platform. That's Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, anywhere. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Juice Pro Wrestling, on Twitter at JPDUB Podcast. And also, if you're down and you're feeling lucky, check out FerrariPoker.com, where you can play for free and win real cash and maybe get a direct deposit or a check in your bank account. Who knows? There's always bonus bounty tourneys going on with wrestling icons such as EC3. And from what I hear, he's really easy to get over on. The Godfather, Kenny King, and the one and only phenomenal AJ Styles. So make sure you check that out for all you gambling fanatics out there. FerrariPoker.com. And JR, where can people find your artwork at?
Warrior Wrestling 5.
I like that. That's great.
Nice.
Yeah. I cannot wait to be a part of that again. And Steve, as always, thank you for coming on and rocking another killer episode with us. And I can't wait for Warrior 6. And 5 hasn't even happened. What? I can't wait for 13. Yeah! What are we going to do? I said, I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood now. Wet 'em up. Wet 'em up. Wet 'em up. Wet 'em up. Wet 'em.
Oh, it's so wet.
You gonna do sex to me?